Okay, so in this video what I'm going to show you how to do is update the firmware on your NXT. So first what you do is go to the Mindstorms website. This would be mindstorms.lego.com. And you go to Support, Files, this is Files here, and then you select Firmware. So you find the most current firmware version, which in this case is 1.3.1. Click this little Downloads tab. This says what the firmware actually changed, in case if you're interested in that, and then you click Download. You save the file to somewhere you can find. It's going to be a zip file, so you download it. You open it up and extract it. So extract. And this is an important, file path to have, so keep this window open. And then you go over to your programming environment. Create a new program, or just use one that you have open. Doesn't matter. As long as you just have a program open. Then you go to Tools, Update NXT Firmware. And in order to update your NXT's firmware, you're going to want to plug in a USB cable. You cannot do this over Bluetooth, or you probably don't want to do it over Bluetooth because of the way it resets. So you browse locations to wherever that file was, downloads firmware. So yeah, this one, download one. Select, and then it shows up in the available files right here. So you're going to turn your NXT on and click download. Now what's going to happen is, oops, hang on, download. I'm connected now. Once it locates the NXT, it's going to prepare the NXT, which basically wipes the NXT's memory. At this point, the NXT goes into a seemingly dead state. It's going to just be making a very faint clicking noise, and this means it's in firmware download mode. So if you ever have an NXT that for some reason is making a clicking noise, not displaying anything, but just like pinging every second or so, it means that you probably need to re-download the firmware. Once it downloads, the machine will reboot. You won't have any files on the NXT, and the NXT will be renamed, but the firmware version will be the updated firmware. So you can close that, open up the NXT window, and you can see current NXT, battery voltage, and new firmware. Okay. Rename this one to what it was before. Actually, this was RD1. Save. Okay. So why would you ever want to update your firmware? Well, essentially your firmware is like the operating system for your NXT, and so sometimes they find bugs in what they had programmed before. So you can see all the way back, there'll be like firmware 1.05, or yeah, 1.05. It says this improves the following Bluetooth communication with third-party devices, and multiple data file control. Okay, so as time goes on, they'll fix more and more bugs in their programs. Sometimes they'll do memory enhancing updates, which can be very helpful. So anytime a new firmware version comes out, I recommend downloading and installing it. And before an FLL season, you might want to check and make sure that no extra firmware has come out since the last time you've pulled out your brick, because sometimes the NXTs don't get used in the off-season as much as they get used during FLL. So that is how you download firmware to your NXT.